Welcome to the African Warriors Fighting Championship from the beautiful city of Katsina, the king of Dambe events. On the screen right now, we have none other than Coronavirus versus Sha'ike. Action-packed bout on the screen. 3-minute rounds, 1 minute rest in between. Knocking down an opponent counts as a victory in that round. Strikes are only permitted from the wrapped hand. Speaking of the wrapped hand, what do we see both athletes do now? They are wrapping their spear in a glove of rope. Strikes from the hand are only permitted from the wrapped hand. Kicks, however, can be thrown from either leg. Ladies and gentlemen, Coronavirus representing House Kudu versus Sha'ike representing House Arewa. Both men 21 and 22 years of age, 5'5", same height. So we're not dealing with any height or reach disadvantages here. Both men are equal when it comes to natural gifts. And now, let's see how they put them to good use in round one. Ladies and gentlemen, Coronavirus, House Kudu green, Sha'ike, House Arewa blue. Sha'ike versus Coronavirus. Both these guys are standout names in the African Warriors. Numerous performances under their belts. Crowd favorites, especially Coronavirus. Coronavirus, oftentimes a slow starter, taking his time, picking his shots before going in. But for someone with a low output, volume output like Coronavirus, he gets a lot of KOs. So he doesn't throw a lot, but what lands usually kills people. Kill, of course, being Dambe parlance for victory. Ladies and gentlemen, African Warriors Fighting Championship from the beautiful city of Katsina. This is Sha'ike versus Coronavirus. I am your commentator and host for the day, Oche Young Jollof Edache. And now, let's see how it goes. Both men stuck in neutral. When I say neutral, we mean that this has to do with distance management. Picking your shots, knowing when you are most optimal to strike and when they are least effective from their range. That's when you pick your timing. That's what timing means. Timing is about picking the right spot in between moments to land something of significance. Coronavirus now using lateral movements to circle and to try to create the referee seeing enough yellow card, urging for more action. Ladies and gentlemen, Coronavirus versus Sha'ike. We've been stuck in the neutral phase of the fight for the better part of the last 3 minutes, and as we approach the final, the end of the first round, you can only imagine that both men are making a lot of mental calculations, trying to get a lot of reads on their opponents, trying to pick up on tendencies and habits before going in. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a good time to remind you that this is the African Warriors Fighting Championship featuring the highest level of Dambe competition in the world. It's also the world's biggest Dambe promotion. No cap. Ladies and gentlemen, as round one ends, let's see what the coaches have to say to both men. That was a really quick break in between as we go right into round two. Coronavirus versus Sha'ike. There's a lot of stuff happening here. For instance, the usage of the fingers, and I don't know if you noticed both Coronavirus touching Sha'ike's chest. You know that there is a lot of mysticism in the sport of Dambe. You can't do without it in this sport, and that's just what we're seeing right now, I guess. At least from stories from behind the scenes for this particular fight. Anyway, Sha'ike and Coronavirus in the distance management phase. Sha'ike breaking the tempo and working the body first. Really smart movement. Most people are content with being headhunters, but if you can soften up the body, it opens up opportunities for success with regards to targeting the dome piece or the temple of your opponent. And both men collide. Finally, the sparks have begun to fly. Sha'ike applying pressure, framing on the chest, Coronavirus throwing back. Of course, both guys are high level, so you're not going to see too many unanswered strikes. Sha'ike throwing and missing, getting his balance right underneath him in record time, avoiding any incoming damage. Ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Sha'ike versus Coronavirus. This is the African Warriors Fighting Championship King of Dambe event held in Katsina. Let's see what both gentlemen have to offer. Sha'ike low and ready. Coronavirus mirroring his stance as well. Trying to lock the shields. So you see that what they do, they use the shields to distract then they throw the spear to destroy. So you see them touch shields, and I like the strategy from Sha'ike. Sha'ike not really giving any room for Coronavirus to plant and find his feet underneath him. Coronavirus never looks this tentative when he competes in the past, and both men go in and collide. Was that a flush connection? It appears both men are not worse for wear, and the second round is over, ladies and gentlemen. Sha'ike versus Coronavirus. Slow and tentative start to this one, but not every fight will be fireworks. Sometimes you have slower paced ones like this, and we still have one full round of action to look forward to. So there's still a lot that can come to pass. Ladies and gentlemen, African Warriors Fighting Championship presented to you by none other than Stake.com. I am your commentator and host for the evening, Oche Young Jollof Edache. So if you were at home and you were a corner man, or if you were on the sandpit and you were a corner man for each athlete, what advice would you give them? I think that's what I have for you guys at home that are watching. How would you advise them to approach this fight differently? I think Coronavirus is a little too tentative, maybe a little too concerned about what Sha'ike can do, and it's giving Sha'ike a more dominant posture as we go into the second round. Or is this the third round? This should be the third round of the co-main event of the evening, Coronavirus versus Sha'ike. And now we're right back into distance management, ladies and gentlemen. Keeping the opponent at bay. Ooh, pump fake with the shield, throw with the spear. Dambe 101, ladies and gentlemen. That's how it's always done. Fake with the shield, throw with the spear. Distract, then destroy. Obstruct, then destroy. Let's keep paying attention. We might learn something. When the fights are slower paced like this, is an opportunity to gather data and information. Sha'ike changing the variations and swinging the uppercut now, putting it right there because he's seeing that Coronavirus keeps dipping on the level change before throwing his right hand. Oh, solid connection from Sha'ike. That one landed straight on the temple. I've never seen Coronavirus have to fight moving backwards this much in my entire life. Alright, clinch work being employed by both men as we slowly walk into the middle section of the third round. Still, Sha'ike versus Coronavirus. A reminder that this is presented to you by the African Warriors Fighting Championship. Nice obstruction from Coronavirus. Beautiful. Timed him on the way in. That connected. And now uppercuts. Ladies and gentlemen, now they are adapting to each other, getting loose. And when the body is loose, you can throw with reckless abandon. But this isn't reckless abandon. This is the most intelligent application of the tools of Dambe that I've seen on this event so far. The less you see happening sometimes might be a suggestion of all the crazy calculations and analyses taking place in the minds of both fighters. Ladies and gentlemen, it appears we are done. Oh, solid overhand thrown and missed by Coronavirus. And these were the collisions that we just saw in the closing moments of this last round. Both men throwing, both men keeping each other at bay and active. Ladies and gentlemen, there wasn't a lot of action at points, but when it like, look at that obstruction, that timing. He used his shield to frame on the inside of Sha'ike. Look at that. So you frame on the inside of the bicep to stop and to hinder the momentum force of the strike, while throwing yours in between to split the timing and to break it in half. Excellent work, ladies and gentlemen. High level Dambe action. This is the African Warriors Fighting Championship King of Dambe events from the beautiful city of Katsina. I believe we are awaiting a judge's decision right now. Coronavirus versus Sha'ike. Your guess as to who the winner is as good as mine. Ladies and gentlemen, who is our winner? Coronavirus. Coronavirus came out on top, ladies and gentlemen. Who would have saw that? Who would have seen that coming? Who could have seen that coming? See Dambe making me blow down. African Warriors Fighting Championship. Oje Young Jollof Edache, your commentator and host for the evening. Thank you.